Welcome to Unhinged
Magi.
All right, we're back again. Northern Paladins, how you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, I'm Michelangelo Russo with the Northern Paladins. Pleasure to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
All right, today we're going to be talking about Proxies.
Again.
Yeah. It's like the sequel. But we're fake. We're not really here.
Proxies, part 2.
Yeah, we're holograms.
Proxies, there's more of them.
But this time we're going to talk about what constitutes a proxy and what counts as a counterfeit.
Because that's a really important topic, actually. There's a big distinction, and there's a lot of opinions, and there's a lot of variations on the theme, of which we've actually got Angelo here from the Northern Paladins, who used to own a shop, and he's got a lot of examples and good opinions on this topic.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, so, okay, the very basic concept is a card that's printed by Wizards of the Coast that has a standard face with black borders or white borders, so not silver, not gold, and a normal back and not square corners, is essentially considered the holy grail of Magic cards. It's allowed in sanctioned tournaments as long as it fits whatever rules that format is, providing. Well, old school, generally 93, 94 and community run formats operates outside of that spectrum, and so our rules are a little looser. We also usually allow collector's edition or international collector's edition, or if you're in the Northern Paladins or other old school communities that allow it, also possibly proxies. And those proxies can be anywhere from something that you printed off on your printer at home that looks just like the original one. And some people will say, claim copyright infringement on that, but it's probably realistically fair use. You're not selling it for money. Right. You're not trying to defraud anyone with it. You're just putting it in the front of a card and playing with your buds. And that's about that. Mm-hmm. If you start operating outside of that and selling it,
that's a whole different ball of wax.
That is completely a different scenario. Yeah, completely different. And
I need to do a note on that because I actually made a video how to make proxies. It's actually one of my most famous videos on my Edwin the Magic Engineer channel, and people attacked me for showing how to make counterfeits, and I had to keep on clarifying that. No, this is not counterfeits. These are proxies. They're not made to look real. But anyways, I had people ask me if I would make them a set of proxies. And I've probably 15 times now I had to say, no, I'm not going to make a set and sell them, because then that goes into a whole different space. I made this video so you can figure out how to make them. It's
like nerdcraft, okay? It's like, every Jedi needs to make their own lightsaber.
Yeah.
You can make your own proxies. It's not that hard. And if you don't have the know-how, somebody in your play group does. And they will help you, show you how to do it. And you can get pretty fancy. I started making proxies back when I was playing Commander about 15 years ago, 12, 15 years ago, whatever, a long time ago.
When it was EDH.
Yeah, when it was EDH, exactly. Yeah. And I started making full foil proxies where we'd take the original Magic card, acetone off the face, take a transparency, print in reverse, glue it together. That's the kind of stuff I nerded out about back then. But I also
like a lot of work.
Yeah, it was.
It is, but Magic's a hobby. You spend tons of time doing it, so it's okay to more time making videos than playing is what you're saying?
Yeah. Not anymore. I've got him playing now these days.
That's true. That's because I have someone to play with.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
thank
different.
Goodness for that.
Yeah.
That's the best. So, and you can do that with just not, you don't have to get that fancy. One of the things I did back in 2005 is I took all the old style Moxes and dual lands and I printed them with the new frame because I was making proxies, and it was plainly obvious that they couldn't possibly be those cards because they never were printed that way. And that was my kind of special way of being like, here's what it is, right? And so
I've got a few sets of foil Power 9.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, clearly this was not real cards.
Yeah.
100%. You're not trying to defraud anyone with it. And that's kind of where the line between proxy and counterfeit is drawn. A counterfeit will have the original art. It will be, it will try to look as real as possible, but it probably won't pass muster to almost anyone who plays Magic or has experience with these old cards.
True.
Although there are some that are pretty good and in a sleeve across the table look really good. I've seen a few of those.
It's usually just in the newer cards, from what I've seen. The newer cards are much easier to counterfeit.
Well, it's because they still have they still make those printers.
Mm-hmm.
You can slap those things together.
Yep.
Yes, you're right. New cards are much easier to counterfeit, as it were, and so like, and that's one of the first points of fear in the discussion about proxies and counterfeits is that you could be defrauded and you could be, tricked. But I would caution people to say that there are ways to handle, dealing with that problem, and one of them is if you buy a set or get a set made or do anything, just denote that your proxy is a fake card as best as you can, right? Fake on the back, do something like that,
Yes.
right? I used to put little gold star stickers sometimes on them, just something like to note that this card's not real. And there's another practical purpose for guys our age. If we like kick the bucket and our wives have to liquidate our Magic cards, we don't want there to be any problems. I hate to be morose or anything here, but that's a real thing. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
True. They'll know which ones are real and which ones are fake.
This is what I do when I make proxies. This is a City of Brass that I made, and it's hard to see it. It's not focused, but right there in the middle of the card, it actually says Proxy. I
Bam,
put that
right
in the middle of the card. And that's
Sure.
what I showed people how to do, like in my actual video where I was showing people how to make proxies too.
So let me show you a few too. That's what I've got ready to show you guys. So here is that Wheel of Fortune foil. Never came that way in this art, of course, and it's full, it's full style. And there's huge proxy communities out there. You can get, some of the artwork already pre-done and then print off yourself.
Hey,
and
Angela, you're upside down. Can you flip it around?
Oh yeah, sorry. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so I'll just restart that. So here is a foil Wheel of Fortune full frame that I made using a real Magic card.
Really looks
That's
good.
Yeah, that is really cool. The foil full art is really cool.
And I didn't, of course, do the digital work on the art. I think Z's Proxy Factory, and you can see it says, well, you can't.
Oh, I followed him on Instagram.
Yeah, he's got great stuff, and he did this art originally, and the images are out there if you want to print them. A lot of that stuff probably is still pretty widely available, but you can find instructables on how to do this all over the internet. So just do a Google search if you're interested. That's one way to make a proxy. Obviously, no foils really in 93, 94, so this was for a commander deck. Okay, Then I'm going to show you just right off the printer. We got just a Chaos Orb, unlimited Chaos Orb, and it's just a piece of paper, right, guys? It's just a piece of paper slipped in front of a plane. It's just easy.
I like how he pulls it out. There's a plane spot.
Yeah, that's actually exactly the kind I make. Like the City of Brass I showed like this. It's just a piece of paper right behind. It's just got another card right behind it.
And I want to really stress that you're not breaking a law here to print something from your printer and use it for your own enjoyment. That's not the purpose of copyright, okay? You're not stealing anything from anybody. You're not hurting the artists in this case. You didn't do it with permission. I agree with that. So I always try to support the original artists, and there's a billion ways to do that. In fact, if you go to many artists' websites, you can buy proxies that aren't like this, but are for instance, Ken Meyer Jr. has a whole set of dual lands on his website. People are familiar with Amy Weber. She does Time Walk proxies. You can find them all over the internet. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Buy something from these artists. They are wonderful people and could use your support and love. And you know what? It's a way to make up for the fact there's all this happening. Wizards isn't making them any money. We're not making them any money. Go ahead and do that. It's cool. Also shout out for Frazier, who does tons of Mox proxies. People have seen those. I know he's sick of death doing them, what I hear.
Yeah, probably. That's why he gets paid for them now, so he at least has something for it.
Then people will use just like say an Unhinged Chaos Confetti. They'll just stick that in. We know what this is in old school. We know this is a Chaos Orb. Like if we see that.
I've literally got a pile of them right over here on the table that I was using as proxies for Chaos Orbs.
I haven't ripped one up in a while though.
I've never ripped one up. I can't stand the thought of ripping them.
I only ripped them out when they first came out. I only ripped them up then.
Yeah, there was pieces of cards all over the shop for a long time. And then I'm going to show you 3 cards. First, here is a real alpha. This is a real alpha in my hand here, okay? This was restored. The face was restored. So an altarist basically touched it up. So think of it as like a super inking job, right? The back is all real and all that. So, okay. And so that
I was going to say that looks amazingly clean. Can you hold that closer to the camera?
Yeah, it's really very clean.
Yeah, the camera's too grainy to pick up like the differences because that looks amazing on camera.
Yeah. So Ash Anamtawi. He's a Alpha 40 player, and he did the restoration on this. He learned from Dustin Brossard, who's another really wonderful altruist. So yeah, so here's my Alpha Emerald. But I wanted to show you that if you compare it to just one of these, let's say Chinese counterfeits, it's going to look way different.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Right. Yeah. And so this is a counterfeit, definitely a counterfeit, okay? So it's meant to deceive because it looks real to the naked eye, maybe 2 feet apart, right? So you go far away, you see it. But once you start to visually inspect it, it's obviously not real, okay?
Yeah.
So I say in your collection, do something. So I make sure that there's something like this on the back.
Yep.
That denotes that it's not a real card.
That's perfect.
And that's that. Now,
because then on the back is nice because then you don't even have to stare at that all the time in the middle of a game.
Exactly.
But if anyone questioned it, you just pull it out and say, "Come on, look here. It says fake right on it."
Just pull the sleeve out, and they say, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're not trying to deceive me. I get it." And so my last and probably favorite way to have like a proxy kind of slash, I guess it's counterfeit. So counterfeit proxy that looks nice is Altered Sleeves releases sleeves that you can put over real cards, or in this case, counterfeits, or something off your printer, even if you've got a really nice high fidelity printer. And when you pull it out, it's just a sleeve, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's got artwork on the sleeve, and this is of course not a real card. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I know because it's in this altered sleeve. But again, I can just write fake on the back as well, no problem.
Yep.
So
that's cool too.
Yeah. So this is just some examples of ways of putting together proxies in your collection and enjoying proxy play.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm actually really glad to see all those examples. And yeah, anyone who's followed my channel, Edwin the Magic Engineer, I've been on this topic just for years now. And so it's a consistent theme that people have heard. But I love hearing you say it because you're not only a community leader in the Northern Paladins, but you are also a shop owner. So it adds a lot of legitimacy to what is just some crazy idiot named Edwin's opinion online, right?
Right. For 15 years, I ran a game store in Minneapolis, just sold this January, which on to new owners, and they're running it wonderfully. And we allowed proxies anytime we could, which is to say a non-sanctioned event, proxies were allowed. It didn't hurt our business. People would say, oh yeah, obviously you lost a bunch of money. It's not true. We had people who would otherwise not be able to either A, play with us, or B, they play with things they normally wouldn't, and then they would over time buy those cards from me. I 100% saw a much more engaged community because of proxies.
So speaking of gaming stores, for anyone who just caught this video, we actually just did another video where there was another Northern Paladin who joined us named Adam. And we covered the impact that proxies had on their store over an entire year of using them. And it's an amazing video. We're going to link it right up here. You guys got to check that one out if you haven't seen it. Okay, so that's pretty good for tonight, unless anyone's got any other things to throw out there.
No, I'm good, I think.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for showing the cards. I thought it was fantastic. The Wheel of Fortune looked good.
Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune was really cool. And I loved hearing your opinions. And I'm sorry Joseph couldn't make it. So if you talk to him again tonight, tell him we missed him.
Absolutely will. I'll pass it on.
Jeremy?
Oh, yes. We have to do a shout out to... So we both have a shared friend. Jeremy Jones is a good friend of ours. And he is, as far as I know, an upstanding member of the Northern Paladins. And we miss him a lot.
Absolutely. He's such a cool dude, guys. If you don't know Jeremy Jones, I can't say enough nice things about Jeremy. He's a super cool dude.
So, Jeremy, you've got to come visit us when you come down to Florida again.
Exactly.
After all this crazy COVID stuff.
True.
Okay. So, yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, for joining, and I hope you have a great night.
Take care, guys.
Okay. Bye.